cool to see again Dennis Anshu winning. His brother won in World Super Sport, and then obviously Top Rack won. Let's talk about the Superbike races over in, I forget where they were.
Donington.
Oh, yeah, Donington Park. Yeah. What do you guys think of the racing and the struggles that happened with the Lowes brothers?
Yeah, I mean, it was the Lowe's brothers crashing, struggling early and crashing early in race two. I mean, Top Rank just simply dominating, just completely hat tricking everything, and then winning all three races, and then just securing even Super Bowl qualifying everything. Right, it's just all handed to him. You had the drama, the crash one that I was talking about earlier. That was wild, man. Bautista and Sam Lowe's and everyone get crashed out. No, I'm sorry, Bautista. Yeah, that was Bautista. That's right, Bautista, yep. Sam Lowe's, and it was another rider that went down. I forget who it was, Montella or someone like that. Yeah, man, it was crazy. So. It was crazy just to watch all that drama. Very exciting race, man. And are we surprised that Sam Lowe's crashed out?
To hear Lewis tell it, nah.
Yeah, Lewis was bashing him. He doesn't let off.
Alex. The brothers.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, man? Smitty?
My thoughts is I was kind of shocked to see how Top Rack dominated, because last year we thought Bulliger was, the new guy in town. And Top Rack's kind of, okay, well, he's on his way out going to GP. He's not the same anymore, but he came back and said, nah, I'm still the Top Rack that I was the year before, and this is still my show. So you got to beat me. And he proved that he's still the guy to beat in World Superbike. And Bulliger, well, he's still solid, but he's not Top Rack. So
right. Yeah, I mean, I think that he started in a I would have to look at the grid position exactly, but he wasn't on the first row, Bulliger, right. And so he had to come through on some riders, and there were some fast riders. Granted, the Lowe's brother crashed out, but Petrucci was fast. Ray was fast in the beginning as well. That's the unfortunate side, but he was able to, to at least minimize the damage. I think he's just down 4 points going into the next round. And I think he also had bad luck at the previous race and was taking out one of the races and didn't score any points and stuff like that. Bulliger, and also had an engine failure at another round. So, those things happen, but I think Bulliger has the pace to fight with Top Rack if he's starting on the same row. If he's starting from the back, then it's anybody's game.
Gotcha. But then Gerloff had a solid weekend also. He had a top six in one of the races.
Yeah. This was just Top Rack's circuit, right? He's got the most wins there now at this point. I think they said it was like 12 wins, 12th win at Donington. So I mean, you're expected to win there. I think Bulliger will come back though this season. I think he's definitely got a chance. He's too strong, and given those failures he had and all that happening, he's only 4 points behind. I think the next rider is 100 plus points again, just like MotoGP. I mean, these guys are like Mark and Alex right now, as far as Bulliger and Top Rack, right? They're like Mark and Alex, except there's not much of a gap there. It's going to be much more interesting at World Superbike on who really wins that championship, I think.
It's going to be much more interesting. And I'll ask this. Who do you think is more hungry out of Top Rack or Bulliger? Because, it's Top Rack's last year as he's going to MotoGP. And so this is his last opportunity to get a win. And Bulliger hasn't had one yet in World Superbike.
I think Top Rack, man, he's just got that dog in him, just like that pure dog, man. And he's going to prove a point by winning this season to come into MotoGP real strong, Right. I think he's just going to do that. But again, he's going to come there and have another UFC alien encounter, man. He's going to run into these fucking UFOs and be like, what is this? So it's going to be interesting.
Let me go back to World Superbike. Right.
Right.
And then Alvaro's complaining again about the whole weight thing.
Well, I mean, I think that's a good point for a small guy, man. I mean, I think there's something about getting used to your machine to make it feel like it's an extension of you. And this guy's been racing his whole life a certain way, and he's not I think if he was a younger rider, he probably would adapt a lot easier, but he got too many miles on bikes. And I think that he just needs more time on the bike. And I think that's the downside, because he's not getting another year. So, you know, he may go to, I don't know, he'll probably go to Honda or somewhere. I can't see him going to a satellite team. But I think for him, that's a real struggle. And it's a pity, though, because, you know what I mean? That has to be frustrating for him, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I get it, but.
And he's a dog, right? He's not a slouch. He's definitely, you know, I mean, it was him and Top Rock, right? I mean, he had two back-to-backs, and he was the guy to beat Top Rock.
But you know, you're correct. But you know what folks fail to even realize? That even though he's adding weight to the bike, it brings with one advantage. Him having these ballasts of lead or whatever metal they use, you could put it where you want.
Right.
Which in a sense, okay, so let's say the bike like, but you corner like exit, and it really is too much.
Right.
Okay, add you know, more weight to the front. Or let's say, you know, you're on the brakes and you kind of unstable. Okay, add weight to the back. So you have some play in there. Right. It's not a total like hamper to the guy. There's ways to work around it, you know?
But I gotta assume then you're messing with the suspension and the geometry, because that's gonna change other thing. It's not as simple as just
for that.
Correct. But you think about this, right? Mm-hmm. How long, how like to figure out where to exact, I mean, I'm pretty sure because they've been adding weight to bikes for a while. So it's not like starting from the beginning. But at the same time, you're gonna have to be putting it on different sections of the bike and go out there and test it. And testing, I don't know, they might have to put in 100 laps before he's like, all right, it feels good. It's not, I don't believe, though, you know what I mean?
It's like trying to balance a tire. You put it on different spots until it's balanced. It takes time, but you get eventually, you know?
Cars don't care about feelings and bikes don't care about feelings, but we humans do. It's like, don't feel right. I mean, you know, I guess in a car it's a little different because it's just the vibration. But I think for him it's a struggle. And you know, and for other riders it may not be, because I mean in Motor America, they've added weight to the Yamahas, the R9s. Right. And Blake Davis just went out there and was killing it. And, you know, you see it's Motor America. So, I mean, I think that for everyone, it's going to be a little bit different how they adjust the things. We saw that with Morbidelli coming over to Ducati and the first year, how long it took him to get quick on the bike and stuff like that. And there's some other riders that it just takes a little bit longer for them to get up to speed than others. And, you know, that's the downside. But he's also an older rider. And, you know, but I think if the bike was less weight, had the weight he had when he was winning, I think it would be a 3-dog fight instead of a 2-dog fight.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's aged out a little bit.
After a certain age, it hurts. So you don't like falling down after a certain age.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like Johnny Ray.
You know?
Skill does go, man. Skill not necessarily goes, but the ability to put that skill down.
Right.
You know what I mean? We all have
reflexes,
that skills built. You know, I remember I used to train a lot in Muay Thai and boxing, and I used to hit the bag a lot. All of a sudden, I took like 6-7 years off, and I go back and start hitting the bag. I'm still hitting it hard, but my fists were not ready.
Right,
right. My wrist, my fist, everything was sore, and I couldn't even hit the bag for a while. So it's just like you have to take your time into that, and then skill will go, man. I mean, hand-eye coordination is a big one in motorcycling. And I don't know how fast I would have been if I started when I was 20, right? But I started when I was like 28, you know, so, and I was luckily able to pick it up quickly, but I wish I would have started when I was 20, because you have much more, you know, cojones is what they call it.
Yeah, look, right now my kids are grown. So right now I'm kind of in grandfather mode. You know, I told my kids one day, look, y'all need kids, man. And minute that kid is born, Project Marquez, I'm telling you.
Maybe we can talk about that, man. I don't know if you're open to that, Rex. Just pace and age and everything we were talking about earlier. Yeah. You can bring that up again if you want.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a thing for sure, obviously, because we see older riders leave, but then we also see we're at an age where there are a lot of tennis players playing at high levels in their 30s. You know, Tom Brady played at a high level later in life. Michael Jordan played at a high level later in life with the Wizards. Even though he was on the Wizards, he was still averaging ridiculous points. Look at the stats. He was averaging like 29 points a game still. You know, so he on one knee. You know what I'm saying? So and you've mentioned this before, Smitty. Josh Hayes started. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Started racing at like 26 or whatever. So he was an older guy.
Yeah,
racing,
he was later. Yeah,
and he's in his 50s, and he's still running with these guys in SuperSport. You know what I mean? So I think for every person it's different, but usually people over a certain age start to tap out. Don't want to get up at whatever time. Don't want to make the drive. Don't want to do a lot of things. And once that creeps in, then yeah, I can see that. But for somebody who's still hungry, that fire is still burning. And with motorcycle, again, the high end, I don't think they'll be racing, MotoGP bike because Alvarez not, and so forth. But I think he's finishing third, and outside of crashes and stuff like that, he'll finish top 5. I mean, that's still good.
Yep. No, I agree.
So, but the medicine they have today is ridiculous to keep you young. You know what I mean? And the tech that they have. So I think it's just if you hurt yourself, what's that recovery like? That's the biggest thing in motorcycle racing. If you to break up yourself at John McGuinness, right? It's kind of like, if after 40 and you break up a lot of bones,
no, it's different.
It's different. You know what I'm saying?
Like I was telling my kids, so right now I'm 48, and I was telling my kids, like when I was 20 years old, I was like like freaking what's dude's name, like Wolverine. I'll get hurt, I'll bounce up with no
just
problem
heal.
at all, man. Injuries, like I'm fine. Now I'm like old man Logan, man. Like my heel powers don't work anymore, so
yeah,
I'm hurt for mad long now. But the smallest thing, your back hurts for like 10 weeks straight sometimes for no reason. It's terrible.
I mean, what do they say? They say your talent is day to day, but your class is permanent. And if you have good class, you could always compete at the highest level. And I don't think it's an age thing. I just think some of these guys didn't have the class to maintain. They had the talent, which is day to day. They didn't have the class. Like a guy like Tom Brady has the class. Marc Marquez has the class. So there's a difference. I don't think it's age. It's your talent is day to day, but your class is permanent. And some guys are just a one of one.
Right.
It's age.
Right. No, I think you can explain that in many different words. Class is one. Just naturally gifted. Like Tracy McGrady talks about it. I was listening to him on a podcast. If you guys remember him from basketball, he was like, I could hit a golf ball this far away. I could hit a baseball out the thing, and I could shoot a basketball from wherever. And he's like, right now, the interviewer was like, right now, he's like, no, I could do that right now because some people are just gifted like that. Right. Now, when he said that, I was like, that's so true, man. I just remember in high school, there's just some gifted athletes, and these guys don't even make it to the big leagues.
Yep.
So I'm thinking like, we don't even have the best in my high school, but there's still levels to this. Yeah. Right. And you take the best guy from every high school, and there's one best guy in that school out of all those people. Right. That's just elite.
Yeah.
That
that's college ball.
That guy becomes a star. So
we're all built differently, and some people have everything it takes. I know people like that as well that can they I got a buddy who can hit a golf ball. I mean, when he first started playing golf, his shot was ugly as ever, but he can hit it straight as ever with there's some people who are just naturally talented and can do these things, but that's enough to just say, hey, you're that good. But Josh Schmidt is a good example that played for Atlanta, right? He's a guy that has the same gift, and to hear Jeff Teague talk about it, he just never practiced, and he was able to do everything that he was doing. And so imagine if he was practicing, in the sense of team ball and stuff like that. It's just he could hit a shot and create his own shots. Yep. So but sometimes you need to be polished, right? It's like that's going to get you so far, but to win championships and all those things, you have to learn how to play team ball as far as basketball is concerned. But obviously in motorcycle racing, you still can have all those talents. We've seen it in Moto 2, we've seen it in Moto 3, guys that were killing it, and then for whatever reason they get to GP. And we see with Raul Fernandez a little bit, right? He was killing it, and he's having struggles. But in Moto 2, if he stayed one more year, he probably would have won the title the following year instead of coming out with Remy Gardner.
You know what's really crazy since we're talking about class and talent? It blows my mind if we go back 30, 40 years, like Michael. Yeah, is it 30 years from Michael Jordan? Probably, right?
Yeah, 90s, yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez, yeah, it's a long time.
Almost 40 years, right.
Michael Jordan, no shade. I mean, the guy's smoking cigars and drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
I mean, so I don't know. I mean, these young athletes, they're eating right. They're going to the academy. I mean, these guys back in the day, they just picked up a bike and won Grand Prix. Like it's crazy. So like some guys have the class and some guys don't need to practice. It blows my mind that not a lot of younger athletes are not shattering the records of the old guys who were drinking, smoking, having sex with 10 women before the race. Like what is going on?
Yeah, and that was in car racing and bike racing too back then.
Remember,
smoking cigarettes.
I mean, spraying champagne with a whiskey nip in your back pocket. Like,
think about it. They were drinking Coke in the 80s. They weren't drinking Gatorade.
Yeah. With actually probably Coke in it, right?
Coke in it, right? Exactly.
I mean, it's crazy. Like talent is day to day, class is permanent. Like a guy like Michael Jordan. LeBron James should be shattering what Michael Jordan did in a short amount of time with the medicine and all of that. And all these guys, all these young guys, like Top Rack. He's going to come to MotoGP and he's going to be fighting for 10th place, which blows my mind because he's such a young talent. But there's a guy named Marquez who just has permanent class. And that's it.
It's interesting you say that, Bobby. I'm not the biggest NBA fan. I don't watch all the games. I don't know all the players, but I'm a fan of greatness. And greatness transcends all sports, right? It just goes into everything. So watching Jordan, I was listening to somebody talk about the story on the team, and he was like, we dropped him off. He's like, drop me off right here at the bar. And he's in his sweats and everything. And he has a couple beers. Like, I'm going to go and drink some beers. And like, we got practice. He's like, yeah, pick me up before practice. So they pick him up, and he's on the court. And he's buzzing. They could smell the beer off him, and they're just smelling everything. And these the players telling the stories. He goes to the practice. He's like, "Look, I'm seeing 3 rims. I'm gonna shoot for the one in the middle." And he's dropping them, training them. Some people are just gifted, man. Like some people just have it. But then you had another person like Steve Kerr talking about when he was on the Bulls, the '98 Bulls, and he was talking about how he didn't have that natural giftedness, so he had to have everything perfect. That like tire management is done in MotoGP. He had to manage his life perfectly to be in the NBA. He had to practice all day. He had to get the right amount of rest, get the right amount of sleep, the right amount of nutrition, and be smart with all of it and use his head for all of it. Right. Some people are just naturally gifted and they don't have to do that much. That's cigars and everything. Yeah.
And then other people have to work really hard at it 24/7. And, you know, it was, and, you know, what's interesting is the Steve Kerrs, they tend to make it because they get the, I don't want to say work ethic, but the hunger is different for them because it's not coming as easy. It's, you know what I mean? And so they got to spend more time doing that. And we've seen that with, you know, as, you know, the story says, you know, LeBron James wasn't the best kid coming out. And, you know, we're seeing, I think the guy was on Showtime. I forget his name, but like.
He wasn't the best coming out. What you mean?
There was another kid that was better than him, but like, bad decisions, you know, and just, you know, didn't get him to go play. You know what I mean? And that.
Get his name.
Yeah, I forget his name. They did a thing on him on Showtime, I think, and
Robinson, you know, right? No, he's a big guy. I forget his name. Which was unfortunate. So, like, you know, and we see it a lot. You see it a lot with musicians. You see it a lot with a lot of athletes. Like, you know, if they don't have the right guidance, they don't have the right people around them. You know what I mean? With all the talent, you mean, you know, they still can't get there. So, you know, the people that just put in the work and they get there because they have to put in that work ethic.
I don't know. I heard about that guy, but I just want to say this for my basketball purist guys. A LeBron James at 15 years old cooked Michael Jordan in the summer camp when they played. He played. Jordan and LeBron played together. LeBron was 15 and cooked Jordan.
I heard about that too. Yeah.
So this guy that was better than LeBron, that's fake news.
I don't believe it either.
All right.
Fake news.
We'll
Fake
go
news.
we'll go with that. What are your guys' thoughts on Redden and his struggles? And it looks like he might be going back to BSB, or going to BSB. I'll go back because he did win a championship. And just what's going on with the team.
Yeah, I think he's done, man. He needs to go to BSB and turn off all the electronics and see how he can handle it there, because all that crying, man, I'm tired of seeing that stuff from him. And you know, you just don't got it, bro. Like it's okay. You know, you once had it and you don't have it. You do have to adapt. You have to adapt and keep it moving, right? But to expect yourself to still have it and blame everything else, or you know, think you need this bike or that bike. Sometimes you do need to test yourself. As a rider, I'll say you might think that because that other rider's on that Ducati or whatever bike he's on, that he has it's taking him further. So
Right.
you have to get on that bike and see, but he did it and nothing changed, you know.
No, we'll see. But you know what? But so oddly enough, but outside of MotoGP, in terms of like a series for a country, you know, Moto America, BSB, and those things type of things, BSB is by far my favorite series. You know, that series is so close together. Like the top 6 riders every week is somebody different, you know, that wins the race. And BSB is amazing. Those guys ride with no freaking rider aids, no electronics. Those guys are freaking elbows, freaking hitting each other the entire race. Those guys ride hard and beast, and they're insane. And the tracks are narrow as hell too. So I don't know how they do that shit over there. But BSB, if you can, go watch it. It's that good, seriously. You know, it really is.
No doubt.
I would agree with Smitty.
Yeah, I love BSB.
It's like what Moto 2's aggressive too. You know, real aggressive. It's like watching Moto 2 without people not using the blinker and crashing and taping people out.
BSB is like that. Yeah.
BSB is
narrow
a lot
tracks.
cleaner. Narrow tracks, is a cleaner, harder race. And I think that's the racing that we want to see MotoGP, right?
Right.
We want to lower the CCs, get rid of all the assists that Ducati has. You know, the oil assist going into turn 8, the bike drops oil, everybody flips. We want to get rid of all electronics in MotoGP.
Like Mario Kart, man, dropping oil on the track.
Yeah. All the assists.
Hey, when all that stuff goes away, who's going to excel?
The guy with the most balls.
It's still going to be Mark. It's going to be Mark even better probably, because like that guy is used to the bike shaking and moving around. He comes from that motocross background. There's going to be a few of those guys up there. It's going to be so fun to watch the bikes fully stripped down and down a few horsepower and just more aerodynamic. It's going to be so fun. Hopefully it gets more like World Superbike and BSB, like Bobby Shakes is saying. I think that'll be more fun.